Lighting up the sky with fireworks is a fun way to celebrate the 4th of July with family and friends, but think safety first, as the holiday weekend sends a lot of people to the hospital every year. Eli Gain joins us live from South Bend with what you need to know. Good morning, Eli.
Hi, good morning, Tricia. Yeah, it's not uncommon when you hear about firework-related injuries, whether it's just a minor burn or maybe something way more serious than that can send you to the emergency room. Now, it sounds like, it's common sense. Let's not be dumb around fireworks, but we need that reminder of you need to be safe around these things. And Dave Sharon is still with us this morning. So, Dave, let's kind of talk about some of the major safety tips that people need to keep an eye on.
Sure. Number one injuries that take place are hand and eye injuries. So having a safe way that's a safe distance for you to light it, having some eye protection. There were 141 people last year in Indiana that suffered 171 different injuries, and a half a dozen of those resulted in amputations. Yeah. So the thing is make sure that read the package, see what the directions say. If they say do not hold it, set it in something, set it on something, follow those directions, because you're not as smart as the people who manufactured those. And use them as they're meant. They're not toys. They're not to be used to hold up and shoot at things. Mm-hmm. Most of the injuries last year, 65%, were caused by misused fireworks. So people using them for something that they weren't intended for, aiming them, holding them, placing them in and around things. So very, very simple. And what we've set up is kind of a safe thing you can do to mark off an area depending on where you're at. When you're buying these, ask the people where you're buying them how much space you need, because everybody wants to buy something that's bigger. Right. But when you read the package, like some of the rockets that we have here say that they'll go 75 and 80 feet in the air. Well, they have to come down. So if you're in a closed-in area in a city or housing is pretty dense there, you need to make sure that you've got the space that you can safely light those off, and that when they do come back down or they do travel around in the area, that they're not going close to your house, not going close to a neighbor's garage. And the whole idea is so that you don't become one of the statistics for this year's report.
Right, and that's a good point, too. And you kind of have some little things set up behind us here. I'm actually going to step behind camera so you guys can get a look. Dave's going to show us how to light off some fireworks. I'll go ahead and get a nice little zoom in here. And Dave, whenever...
Pretty simple. For things that stick in the ground, like sparklers, because they were still number 3 for injuries to kids last year in Indiana. All we did is take some spray paint, mark a small area.
There he goes there.
It's going to blow them out. And this way
He's
you can see those things because they're even hard to see in the daylight, but very, very hard to see at nighttime. So the idea is you put them there, when they're done, you hose them down. Same you do with all your fireworks. Once they're done going off, wet them down before you set up another one. And again, only light one at a time.
And I wasn't sure if Tricia or if any of our viewers could really make out what Dave was saying, but he was kind of pointing out right there that you can put just with a simple can of spray paint, you can just go ahead and spray them into the ground there where you stick down some of those sparklers, and that way you don't, lose them in the daylight, because you can have some kids trip over those if they're walking around. So, and then of course, after you're done lighting them, Dave here has a hose that he was spraying on top just to make sure the wick is out and complete, and there he is lighting off a little bit bigger of a firework there. You see he's also got it on some cinder blocks on the grass there, so your grass doesn't burn, which could also lead to a fire and make things a little bit more difficult for you for celebrating such a good holiday. You don't want to have that issue of, as we mentioned, going to the emergency room and kind of ruining your holiday. So you see those going off there, and I'm actually going to have Dave come back over to the center here as you see this lighting off going behind us. You also see he's got the goggles on and that sort of thing. So Dave, if you want to rejoin me right over here in front of the camera again, I'm gonna saw you put a little bit of work in there this morning. So that obviously those are just some really important things to kind of keep your mind on come this week and this holiday.
Right, and one last thing. If you light something and it doesn't go off or it stops in the middle, don't attempt to relight it. Wet it down, leave it lay there, locate another area where you're going to set another one off, because you have no idea, again, what's taken place inside of that. And the last thing you want is when you walk up to it to have it go off, because there's been some major eye loss and hand loss when people have attempted to relight fireworks.
And we know there's going to be a lot of people out this week and this weekend lighting off some of these fireworks, or as what I like to call them, fun bombs that go off into the air. So you want to make sure you stay safe this weekend. You don't make that trip to the emergency room. Also, we were talking earlier, you can go on our website, check out some tips to kind of keep in your head before this weekend comes up, and also some of those laws that are taken into effect this week. So let's just stay safe out there for the 4th of July holiday.
It is a huge responsibility for sure, especially if you're hosting and if you have small kids around. Some important information there that you've shared with us this morning. Plus, you woke up a whole neighborhood, and I'm sure you've enjoyed that.
I know
this morning.
we try not to, but we still like to have some fun. So sorry if we ended up waking up some folks around here this morning.
It was very visual, trust me. All right, thanks a lot. Eli Gain reporting live with those important tips. We have all of that listed on our website, WNDU.com.